Hello. Okay, I am going to start with a few discussion regarding this pedagogy part. Uh, in first unit, this method of teaching in your syllabus. This lecture method, demonstration methods. See, this is the syllabus. That is method of teaching, lecture method, demonstration method. These two separately we will discuss little later on because last time we just have had two class one was taken by Professor Savita Patnaik with almost the same referral matter reference matters and more better illustration with examples by our external expert. At the same time I have started sharing a very simple way of sharing about the project method. It's available in the YouTube channel, and obviously I'll be continuing with more clarity to make it more clear. Though we had that YouTube channel part, and I have already uploaded many documents in our Google Class, but here little bit, today I have been thinking about this two portion, that is project method and problem solving method. Okay, so my focus will be on problem solving method, but how this is different or how this is similar or how this is relate problem solving method, how does it relate with project method? Because in a project, whenever we do a project, every time we uh, consider that, yeah, to start with the problem, by identifying a problem, so like that, lots of similarities even in the methodologies are there, but especially for adopting for implementation this project method as a teaching method, problem solving method as a teaching method, to understand this for the purpose of classroom. And at the same time, we have to be very careful. At the same time, we have to appreciate that these two method uh, is these two methods is are child centric, learner centric method. Even in the behavioristic model of teaching, there the consideration the consideration of method of different types of teaching, many are there, and basically they were divided into two parts, that they are like teacher basically teacher centric and the learner centric. In learner centric, this project method, problem solving methods comes in, and this lecture and demonstration method comes in the teacher centric uh, pedagogy. So therefore, one we have started with the project method, and let us move to problem solving method. Last time, one part of lecture method, lecture in Hindi, it is mostly commonly translated as Bhasan Vidhi, but originally it is Pravachan Vidhi, because the origin of teaching learning process, if we go back to historical time, if quite long back, uh, dissemination of information or sharing of some experience done in such a way that that pravachan method, which was preaching kind of method, adopted at the early stage of even before the formal education systems comes up. So this is quite the first part that is connected with the historical context. That's why today people used to say that these are teacher lecture method or demonstration method. Demonstration is little blended towards the interest of learner in the sense that uh, multisensory multisensory focus uh, learning situations can be created through the demonstration also. So slightly it falls in the in between, but still it comes under teacher centric method as per theory. So anyway, let's go to problem solving method. But say, before we start discussing on meaning this and that, lots of things, I I am trying to sharing you two resource material which I have already uploaded in the Google Classroom material, and these two material if I a little there is this, it's quite small. Oh my god. Yeah, this one. This is a PDF file. Let us make it a little bigger. Yes, especially this one. We can start from uh, the steps, various steps in a project. When if we are going to adopt project as a method of teaching, these are the steps, and we have already discussed about this in one of the my YouTube class, and one of the class taken by Professor Savita Prabha Madam. And here, in the same parallel to these steps, let us just see, observe this, how these two are similar or different like that. And so, first one, steps of problem solving method. If we are going to use problem solving as a method of teaching, another one is if we use doing a project as method of teaching. Okay, so let us see the first step here to apply this problem solving method is define and identify the problem. Define and identify the problem. Here, this is the important part. See, first you define and identify the problem. That means you identify the problem and define your problem. Okay, and in this case, provide a situation. In case of project method, so the first step assigned is uh, yes, no, I don't want this one. Um, where are the color marking tools? Editing tools. No, it's not working. Yes. So providing a situation. If we compare only these two first stage of these two method of teaching, define and identify the problem, or here providing a situation. In other sense, if we go back to the meaning of what is a project, what is a problem, they are used quite synonymously used in higher education at the time of the research work. So at the time of research work, whenever we do a project, so every project do have a problem. First, we have to identify a problem there also. Actually, okay, but here the difference is that here in this particular context, here is situation. It's a, that therefore, in case of project, it is as per its meaning, it is defined as a fraction of reality of the life, as a fraction of the reality of life, like defined by the Ballard. A project is a bit of real life that has been imported into the school. See, this is the first line. And if we go back if we go back if we go back to uh, the problems solving method, the second step, it is quite good that at least I'm trying to share on common same platform, because most of the people is get confused if they used to express in a similar way, well, without knowing the exact crystal clear difference between these two method, how to implement these two method in the classroom teaching uh, model. Second step here in problem solving method is analyze the problem. See, first identify and define the problem, now analyze the problem. You have to analyze that. Here, in case of project method, once you got the situation, then you have your next task is to choosing and purposing why you are in that particular situation, what you are going to do. So if you adopt project method in the real classroom situation, that means you are going to give a situation to the students, and they are going to allow for being in that situation. What is the next, what they have to do is going to be facilitated by the facilitator of the class. Here in case of analyze the problem, similarly here in case of analyzing the problem, it once see, analyze the problem, the term analyze, once it comes under the higher order thinking, which is popularly known as HOT in education learning theory. So one analyze, see, in the second stage, once you identify and the define, define is a process skill, and this is the process skill, as we have discussed at the time of internship, to go into a constructivism classroom situations. And I think I have introduced you about the process skill required in a constructivist classroom situation. So here, once you identification is a skill, define is a communication skill. Okay, defining is also an skill, communication and explanation. Now analyze, once this term analyze comes, it is about logic. It is about logic. Yeah, this particular logic may be any form of logic. Is popularly we used to refer to inductive and the deductive process of logical. Once logical, we start expressing logical, the term logic and logical, and it is always followed by logical thinking. Okay, once logical thinking is there, then logical action will be followed by that. So logical, it is, if I extend here for more clarity, it is about conducting a logical thinking. Okay, so let us see logical thinking, we will come back to that part. Next, the third step is identifying the possible solutions. Once we have, in the second step, once we have created a logic, or we have come to a we have landed to in a process where thinking is going on, and what the entire this thinking process will give us some clue that in which direction the thinking will need to be continue, in which direction. So here the beauty of problem solving method is the cognitive process, because cognitive process means thinking process. Thinking process, is not just a thinking process like we commonly use here. Here, this particular logical thinking will lend it into a direction giving thinking, and direction giving thinkings, supported by, uh, say, inductive and deductive reasoning type of thinking, divergent conversion type of thinking, analogical type of thinking, creative and critical type of thinking, lots of thinking. So we have to know about the process of thinking and the importance of thinking as a facilitator, why we are giving a problem to the students in the classroom. A facilitator must really have a clear cut things in the mind that this is going to allow the students to think after once they identify and they try to define the problem. So the third step is possible solutions. So it is very commonly used whenever we say a problem. Automatically, we have behind the scenes, we have in mind is this about the solution. If there is a problem, there is a solution. Is one of the proverb probably used by many people for motivating others. If there is a problem, there is a solution. It's just like if there is a will, obviously there is a success. Let's go to the next one, that is selecting the best solution. That means in the third step, the classroom students are going to come up with different possibilities. In case of behaviorist classroom, it may be these different possibilities of solutions of the given problem may come from one individual or peer group of students, or entire group of students, many, or each individual may comes up with one possibilities of the particular problem, and for a possible best solutions. Here facilitator may allow the students come together, make a collaborative or cooperative classroom model, and ask them to f- uh, conduct to have a brainstorming so that they can identify right now here, that is selecting, they can choose among the many possible, the way of getting solutions. Here they can through a brainstorming session they can come up to a conclusion. So here one thing come up, that is brainstorming, that is brainstorming. Okay, brainstorming, many things are there. So this is just an example I'm citing here, brainstorming as part of the pedagogy. How they say, in case whenever you use problem solving as a method of teaching, as in between the process of conducting your class with the help of this particular method, uh, you know uh, another another uh, sub level methods automatically pop up like a brainstorming. Brainstorming, here it you are going to use as a technique so that students can select the best possible solutions of the problem. Then it may be followed by evaluating the solution, evaluating the solutions. Once you choose the best possible solution, still it is not so sure that it was the chosen best solution is going to be the real, uh, you know, uh, is going to be enabled to take the responsibility to completely solve the problem of the given, the task as a problem. So it's about here what can do here facility here in the classroom. Here one can do is how to evaluate. What? Okay, during the brainstorming, y- both the facilitator and the students comes together and discuss about uh, the best possible solution. Here, so evaluating the solution. So how to evaluate? You- How to evaluate? It is talking about what it is going to evaluate. How to evaluate? It is going to evaluate. Uh, see, let me just it it is going to it is going to uh, this yes, this maybe okay, this one. It is going to no, it's not working. Let us drop this one plan. It is going to the selected best possible solution. Okay, now here we have to know that ways and tools of evaluation, and this solution may be an activity, maybe a logic, maybe some concept uh, which comes up after a brainstorming session. So here a facilitator must know about all these things, ways and tools for evaluation of particular best possible solution. Interestingly, here you have to remember that in case of constructivist classroom, in case of cognitivist classroom, and in case of behavioristic classroom, the same steps, all the same steps for problem solving method can be implemented. Only the difference is the reason behind uh, uh, for choosing this particular method, and situation behind for choosing this method, including the children's what type of in case of completely teacher centric, teacher as a facilitator may lead to evaluate this best possible solution. But in case of constructivism, facilitator is going to allow maybe a further brainstorming on why, or further a dialogue, group discussion. It can be through a just like a group discussion. It can be a group discussion. uh, yeah, it can be a group discussion too. So, after brainstorming, again divided into different part, a group discussion, analytical group discussion. It will be quite better here. And once it is done, and then they, okay, decision has come up here. Okay, this will be the best solution, possible solution to solve the problem given as a task. So next action comes as develop an action plan. Okay, this is actually implementation phase. Implication is okay. Implication is also okay. Implementation. s- uh, this is the problem. Once you start typing and desktop, you're going to increase your spelling mistake because of the anyway, let it be. develop an action plan. Here this is implementation part. Implementation for what? The first one is that is it really working? Here y- it is a checkpoint. It's just like this is also a checkpoint, or a testing phase of the chosen one, testing phase of the chosen one. See how this problem solving method goes in such a way that many things will come up. That's why this is actually, I feel personally, I feel problem solving method is actually centric to cognitive process, and uh, really to understand, and to enable the students in the classroom to develop this particular ability. Problem solving ability is one of the top ability required as a learning outcome in future in higher education. It is one of the most important component of the, that among the uh, abilities, graduate abilities, uh, without that abilities, problems, we, without these abilities you are have going to have lots of real problem, accumulation of problem in real life. That is why using this problem self solving method in the classroom, uh, you know not necessarily mean that students complete a small task as an assignment in the class. Actually, this will help the learner to develop their one of the basic learning outcome, that is attitude of the learner. Whenever children face a problem, their attitude means like confidence, and to look upon a critical thinker, a keen observer. These are all characteristic of a person's attitude towards a problem. So the basic objective of having this problem solving method is just not for completion of a given task, just like completing a syllabus, a topic of the syllabus in the for the examination. No, this is going to really help students in their real life situation, and it is very strongly learner centric, and one of the very backbone components of our learning outcome. At the same time, this is uh, what uh, very important one. So, the last one is implement the solution. Develop an action plan, checkpoint or testing phase comes up. Here is re-verification. See, three stages: just identification, best possible when one you evaluate the selected one. Now here again taking developing an action plan by using that you have agreed upon that this is the best possible solution. By using that you have developed a plan. One is going to develop a plan to really solve this the real problem mentioned here. Okay, this is the color. So dear friends, implement here in this particular knot, it is ended here at implement the solution. So problem is, it seems like problem is solved now, but unfortunately or fortunately we have to understand a very important part another is feedback system, because many a times many a times uh, feedback system, it doesn't work 100%. problems that never solve 100% as it is expected. It may be in terms of degree nearing to the best possible way, or maybe sometimes fail. The Though it has been re-screened many a times in different states, you may sometimes the chosen one doesn't work for a particular problem. So in case of real classroom situation, with examples we will discuss about this matter. Meanwhile, let us just go back to once that part. Here in case of project method, see, uh, planning action is the sixth number in problem solving, and here is planning is in the third number. Here it is in the third number. So how these two uh, are different? Most of the time when sometimes we evaluate the examination papers, uh, sometimes we found that people, most of the time, project method and problem solving method, uh, many students write mixing these two approaches, or problem solving method to project method and project method to problem solving. So that is those things are the conflict in the real understanding of these two method of teachings. So here you can really, if you do really understand the project method, already we have discussed, and but not enough. Until then, these concepts are brought into practice. But here, but at least for today we can try to understand, we can try to understand that uh, a problem solving method do have a real uh, identity, much different from a project method. Okay, so if you say a project method is equal to, is similar to problem solving method, no, these two are different methods. That's why in syllabus, in your syllabus pedagogy, these two are given in two different bullets. So let's sum up for this particular episode, and we do have lots of things to be discussed, particularly in this problem solving method. Again, I will come back someday on the project method. Okay, this part, I think to understand this particular problem solving method, we need to uh, we need to really understand two three things, that those are like cognitive process, cognitive cognitive process, which are synonymous to thinking, not only thinking, then directive thinking, then like directive thinking, what's going on then, yeah, and then critical thinking. Oh my god, critical thinking, creative thinking. Did we talk about this in the time of project method? You just try to recollect uh, the session we had, but that in the YouTube channel, lots of things are still, remain to discuss. And here in creative directive thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking, like convergent and divergent thinking, uh, uh, analogous thinking, analogous thinking, uh, inductive, inductive, deductive thinking, uh, analytical thinking, analytical thinking. Yes, like this, many things are hidden, or many things are, problem solving method comprise of these many things, many terminologies. These all terminologies do have a big role, uh, uh, roles at the time of learning, teaching, learning process. Okay, we'll discuss about this thing in next session. For today, just this much, and keep continue observing the problem solving method. It is really going to help in many ways. Understanding this will help you in many ways. Okay, so for now, I'm taking a break. Okay.